A screen by Green, the switch to Lively. Three, Curry.
Wait, did you guys think that this wasn't personal for Steph Curry? Don't be fooled by how humble and nice Steph is. He takes everything personally. Just look at what he posted on Instagram the day after beating the Oklahoma City Thunder. So when Klay decided to leave Golden State with the idea of moving to a better team that could compete for a championship, Steph had to show not just Klay, but the entire NBA world that the Golden State Warriors are still a force to be reckoned with. And anytime you have Steph Curry on your team, that is always going to be true. Because in back-to-back games, against the two players who have been considered the best two guards in the NBA over the last year, Steph Curry outplayed both of those guys, averaging 36.5 points and 8 assists across those two games, and doing what only Steph could do in the final minutes of the game versus Dallas.
No points in the fourth. Just 2 points in the fourth here. Time for Curry to kind of take over a little bit.
To make it a one-point game. Final 2 minutes. Curry and Doncic. For the lead. Curry. A screen by Green. The switch to Lively. Three. Curry.
And I'm gonna say this again. This is the best version of Steph Curry we have seen since the playoff series versus Sacramento. And that should be frightening for the entire NBA. Because when you have this version of Steph, alongside the best version of Draymond Green we have seen in years, and a very deep and good overall supporting cast, well, you're starting to see what this Warriors team is really about. But before we get carried away, we have to talk about Steph Curry. Because when you looked at the schedule and saw Boston, Cleveland, OKC, and Dallas, it was always going to be difficult. But for the Dubs to win 3 of those 4 games, despite 3 of those games being on the road, well, that's because Steph Curry decided to be the best player on the floor in those 3 games. And the most recent game against Dallas was just special. And we should have known it was going to be a long night for Dallas when on the Dubs' first play of the game, Steph got the screen from Trace, and with the close out from Klay, he was able to hit the shot before letting Klay know he was in for a long night. And he just continued to cook all night long. Look at him here bringing the ball up the floor in transition. He uses the Draymond screen to play peekaboo with the Mavs defense before pulling up for 3 so casually. Or how about the movement on this play, pitching the pass to Loon and then sprinting for the handoff and effortlessly knocking down the midi. Or here with Klay defending him. Steph gets that first screen from Melton to get some separation, and the moment he catches the ball, Klay overcommits, so he puts it on the floor and then uses some craft to bump into Klay for the and one. And again, he let Klay know. And this is why it's so fun to watch Steph Curry when he is playing like this, because these were 37 points off just incredible shot making. I'm sure you guys have seen the stats about how few free throws he gets, and whilst that is frustrating, it's also refreshing to see someone not trying to get to the free throw line every single possession like so many of the other stars in the league. And instead, Steph is focused on just using his skill, which is one of one, to dissect teams, not just as a scorer, but as a playmaker. And it's just a joy to watch every single time. Not to mention time and time again, he proves that old narrative wrong about him not being clutch. Yeah, can you believe that used to be a thing? Well, in just the last year alone, he won a gold medal off being clutch, and he won the Clutch Player of the Year award for the NBA on a team that wasn't nearly at their best. And when I say Steph Curry takes everything personally, listen to what Draymond said after the game.
Tried to check in Klay on something else, and Klay ghosted him. So he got pissed. And here we go. Here we go.
That's why he was on 10. That's why at the end of the game,
Woo! Now, I'm sure Steph wasn't actually that mad at Clay, but we've seen it over the years with the likes of Kendrick Perkins, where Steph has shown that he not only sees the outside noise, but uses it as motivation, and more often than not, it is number 30 who gets the last laugh. But there is one guy who has been by his side every single time he's had the last laugh, and that guy is playing unbelievable basketball right now. It's Draymond Green, and he almost deserves DPOY for this play alone. But if you know anything about Draymond Green, you would know that he makes plays like this on a nightly basis. In fact, he made a very similar play to this in a very similar situation against the same team just last year. But this year, he's been even better. Look at him here initially tagging Gafford in the paint. Luka makes a terrific pass, but look at how quickly Draymond reacts. Just look at those instincts and then the ability to close out and use that wingspan to block the three-point shot. That right there sums up everything so great about Draymond as a defender, covering multiple players at once and having such elite timing. Or here where he gets to the level to prevent Kyrie from getting to the pull-up midi, but immediately he's able to turn and then pressure Lively into forcing a turnover. Or in these two plays with Kyrie, where he's there to break up two different lob attempts to Daniel Gafford. This is not someone who should be protecting the rim like he does at his size, and he's not someone that should be guarding the perimeter like he does at his age, but he still does both of those things at a remarkable level, and it would be ridiculous if he ended his career with just one Defensive Player of the Year trophy to show for it. And it always helps when you have support, which is exactly what he got from Andrew Wiggins in this game, who is looking like the Andrew Wiggins that helped the Warriors win the championship, which goes beyond just looking more aggressive offensively. The biggest attribute Andrew Wiggins provides this Warriors team is defense, and in particular the ability to guard guys like Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum, which we've seen him do en route to a championship, and we've now seen him do it over the last week. And it was his defense on Luka in the last minute of the game that really stood out. Look at him on this play with 50 seconds remaining and the game only separated by 1 point. Luka tries to back down Wiggs before going to the step back, but Wiggs does an incredible job at absorbing those hits and contesting the shot perfectly. Or on the very last possession of the game, where instead of choosing to foul Luka, Wiggs pressured him the entire way up the floor, making him turn multiple times before forcing him into a ridiculously tough pull-up three, which he clanked off the side of the backboard. When you have someone who can pressure and force Luka Doncic into shots like that, you have a guy like DeAnthony Melton who can guard the opposition's best smaller guards whilst knocking down threes and even providing some playmaking, and you have Draymond Green who does literally everything on defense. You become one of the best defenses in the NBA, and this is exactly the blueprint that has led the Warriors to winning championships in the past. And I know people are looking for who will be the second option for the Warriors, but when you have this level of defense alongside numerous guys who can make shots, and well, Steph Curry, that is an elite team, and it's proving to be the case right now. Now, if you want to see me continue to talk about that, consider subscribing. It's free. Dropping a like on the video would be much appreciated. Most importantly, have a great day. Bye.